All right, so hello and welcome to our presentation on rising above the competition using experiential learning. My name is Erica LaRue. I'm the Assistant Director of Employer Relations. Why do I want to say that? Assistant Director of Operations, and Career Services. I also oversee our experiential learning opportunities in our office, which includes student employment. And next I have with me Kristi. Go ahead if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Kristi Wood-Turner, and I am the director at the Center for Service and Learning.
Yes. So today, Kristi and I will talk about experiential learning opportunities and how they can help you rise above the competition while gaining skills that you cannot learn in the classroom. So experiential learning is learning from experience or learning by doing. It can help you develop positive attitudes towards life, encourage acceptance of responsibility, promote community involvement, and help better understand your strengths and weaknesses. As you can see, there are a lot of benefits to experiential learning. They are actually limitless. You can gain real-world experiences while enhancing your educational experience. You can learn new skills and soft skills, otherwise known as competencies, which are desired by employers. I will discuss these competencies actually on our next slide, but also you can get a chance to try out positions in your interest area and discover your talents. Also, experiential learning is a huge resume builder. It also gives you confidence and the sense of accomplishment you need in going into an interview. As mentioned on the last slide, no matter what experiential learning opportunities you participate in, you are developing those soft skills desired by the employers. They include what is actually listed here on the PowerPoint: critical thinking, communication and teamwork, leadership, as well as, of course, gaining experiences involved in those and getting those volunteerism opportunities to be more marketable. Here are just some experiential learning opportunities. Internships and co-ops can help you advance your understanding of your field and build connections that will help you after graduation. A part-time job, such as student employment, though may be unrelated to your course of study, it can still be beneficial to you by gaining those competencies we previously discussed. Your part-time job is related to your course of study. If your part-time job is related to your course of study, even better, as it could be considered an internship. Job shadowing is another experiential learning opportunity. It's more observing and shadowing a professional in your desired field. It's also a great tool for those who are in an undecided major or still deciding on a career path. Also, study abroad. The benefits may be obvious if you're in the field, if the field is globally oriented, such as if you're in like foreign language majors or international relations. But you are also likely to grow up quicker and gain new knowledge and perspectives through study abroad. I will let Kristi talk about, so also I should mention undergraduate research, is an alternative to an internship where research projects help build skills that you're in your chosen field, research practices, and also allows you to take what you've learned in class and apply it to a new situation or problem. Can provide a great sense of accomplishment. And now I'll let Kristi talk about volunteering, also as community engagement.
Sure, great. Yeah, these are wonderful opportunities. And as you can see, you know, there's so many options designed to fit the specific talent, skill, or information that you are seeking. Each of them designed and set up differently. Volunteering is absolutely an amazing way to look at not only building these power skills or these competencies, but a way to kind of show where your passion lies and give back to the communities that are kind of giving to you and building you into the career that you're in. So as noted on here, volunteering in general, direct service volunteering. is a great way to get some of those power skills that you are seeking. For example, just introducing yourself to clients, or meeting a nonprofit where you've never been before, maybe out in a part of the town you've never driven into, or doing some work that is really outside of your normal box of things that you're used to doing, and you just jump in there and try and support and work together as a team to learn that. So that kind of direct service of giving back to the community in ways that's beneficial not only engages your motives and your excitement in helping, but it also is then teaching you these kind of opportunities of when to speak up, when to step out, how to face fear, and how to build your resume and your skills through the community.
Great. So next, kind of continues with you, Kristi.
Great. Awesome. I love it. So what is a volunteer experience specifically? As I was mentioning in the last slide, it doesn't have to just be with your favorite nonprofit or charity. It can also be ways to look for specifically skills that you're seeking. So I don't want anybody ever to have the impression that, volunteerism or the act of giving back to nonprofits is solely one way. It is absolutely reciprocal. Not only do the nonprofits value the work that you're bringing to support their mission and better your community, but you are okay at going in and saying, listen, this is what I need to know here. This is what I expect to bring out of the experience. There are things that I need to get better at, things that I want to learn, positions I want to know more about, and it is absolutely okay for you to ask those things. In fact, we have found that nonprofits prefer students who come in curious and excited to learn at the same time that they want to give. So there's a lot involved there. How is this related to careers? Oh, in so many various ways. And we've got listed here a couple. So, the Boys and Girls Club, that is a nonprofit locally that works with kids. Really obvious opportunities here is if you are in K-12, or you're thinking of going into some kind of social work or counseling that deals with adolescents or younger. An opportunity for you to get hands-on in the club and actually see what a day-to-day routine would be for children, to work with them, work with the various types of students in the various issues that come with that. Understanding if you feel comfortable and confident in this field can really not only just verify that you're on the right direction, it could actually do the opposite and say, you know what, I think I'd rather take a step back and maybe work behind the scenes. So there's a lot of opportunity in there to learn and grow. Community cleanups are really important as well, just kind of getting that appreciation and understanding of teamwork, how we do better together, that there are always areas of the community that need a little bit extra support that may not work the same way that you would work in that area, so that we go in and support that. But really there's some team building in community cleanup, some soft skills in order of talking with people and understanding how processes work, and how things get done in communities. And shelters. We don't specifically have an emergency shelter right now in Morgantown, but we do have living transitional housing where we can support students. And if that is your passion or your career field, there's lots to learn there too. Great stories to learn from clients that you could talk with about how society has changed or the environment has impacted who they are. There might have been some business failings if you're a business student and want to get in there and learn about what happens grassroots to people who are in the business profession when it closes or something like that happens. But you can also learn how we work together as a community. Homeless shelters require at least 3 to 4 nonprofits working hand in hand to get things done. There's feeding, there's housing, there's clothing, there's safety, all of those things involved. So just a really great broad understanding of how we need to work interdisciplinary. That's a great soft skill or a power skill to take to a career and to actually talk about in an interview. Most important thing to remember is some types of this unpaid work, unpaid in cash, but paid in other ways. And nonprofits are better than others for securing your next job. Honestly, I feel like that can be mitigated by the reflection you give to the work you do. I think any job you do in the community, any volunteer work you do, as long as you think through what skills you've gained and what you have become aware of through that, can be an awesome opportunity to talk in an interview, not just show 100 hours on your resume, but to talk about the impact of 100 hours to your interviewee at your next career interview.
Thank you, Kristi. Well said.
All right, great.
And so this kind of goes into the next slide with Kristi on ways to benefit from service during your time at WVU.
All right, I will just keep this train rolling. Let's just keep on going. There's so much amazing stuff with service. We could talk about it all day. So let me move on to this one. I just kind of want to break down for you some opportunities that you might have right here at WVU in this kind of work. As we mentioned, with all the different opportunities of experiential learning, you have the same plethora of opportunities within the field of community engagement as well. So you pick what's comfortable to you, you pick what you feel like you'll learn more from and gain the most out of. If you like the idea of direct service and you really do, for example, maybe you miss your pet at home, and you weren't allowed to bring that pet to campus, maybe getting involved with some of our animal friends and some of the folks that work in the animal shelters, going in and supporting and walking the animals or supporting adoptions, that could be an opportunity for you to foster that need of yours. You also may just like direct service. You may like to work hard and help. You want to, deliver packages from a food pantry or haul things off of the truck into the freezers. I mean, there's really great opportunities for direct service as well. That is absolutely a critical community need. We don't function in a community without support from volunteers like the ones they get through iServe, which is a system at WVU that you all have access to that lists mostly direct service volunteerism. You can also get this in a different way called service learning. So if you love to engage in the community, but you really want a deeper, more capacity building type of opportunity than just that one-time direct service, service learning is a way to teach. So it's a method of teaching, just like you would do a research paper or hear a lecture. Service learning faculty members use community opportunities as their teaching tool. So if that is of interest to you, you would incorporate your engagement inside the classroom. So you'd take your class and you would learn through this service opportunity. So really amazing faculty on this campus who do service learning really well. Just look for the S in the section designation of your course. We also have what we call extended service placements. So extended service placements are very similar to internships. However, of course, their main intent is to meet community need. I heard my voice come back at me there, which must be a sign to slow down. But internships do a lot of showing of skill. Extended service placements do a lot of meeting community need in a long-term capacity. So this would be signing up for one full semester or more with one nonprofit doing a project that lasts a little bit longer. For example, you may be in charge of the back to school prom dress giveaway at Christian Help. You would start with them, you would gather the prom gowns, you would find the place, you would display the gowns, you would get them to the ladies, and then you would see that all the way through to the end, to the prom, right? So that's an extended service placement. In that instance, you want to get a little bit more from your service than just those one-time stop-ins. You can also participate in days of engagement or in just engagement programs. So we have days of service all the time on campus. The Greeks are getting ready to have another one pretty soon. But that is just a day where more than 50, 100, sometimes a few hundred people decide to do service projects all together in one day. That is one that's really intrinsic in terms of what you gain from that. It's so nice to see the teamwork and the support of a group of people really trying to make a large impact. You gain a lot of different skills, civic responsibility, et cetera, from these days. Our engagement programs are a little bit newer to the field because they are not hours of service per se. They are opportunities to learn more about what community means, what community is, and how you can give back to that community in various ways. So learning about maybe groups of people you didn't know about before, learning about different societies within your community that you could join, like the Rotary and things like that. So really exciting stuff. And then we have the Social Action Clinic, which is really a really great place on campus if you have a passion that is just itching to get out and you need some support on that. For example, we had a student who was an engineering student, and finally she got all the way to the dean, and the dean said, you know what, I'm an engineer. I would love to help you, with water quality in Southern West Virginia, or the potential to have better food in K-12 schools in Southern West Virginia, but I just don't know where else to go with that. He was able then to send her to our Social Action Clinic, where we can provide her with a team of experts, people at the school board, people within nutrition, folks in the local community that knew about different food banks or homegrown local local grown food, to do all the things she needed to do policy wise to really make an impact. And now they provide fresh fruits and vegetables to a small elementary school she went to in Southern West Virginia because of her social action project. She just had a passion. It didn't quite connect exactly with her academic curriculum, but it was something she knew she would do for life, and she wanted the skill. She came to the clinic and we were able to support her in doing that. That ties a lot with the looking at philanthropies of your career. If you are looking for a career and have a passion, look for jobs and businesses who have a philanthropy in the area that you're passionate about. You're more likely then to get the opportunity to do more of that throughout your 9 to 5.
Wow, very good.
All right.
And next, continuing with volunteering and community.
I promise I didn't take this whole thing. I promise I didn't. This is really quickly because I kind of talked about it a little bit. Our challenge to you at WVU is to take everything further. Always go first, right? That's our mentality, and that's who we are as Mountaineers. So this is really a nod to that kind of the way to introduce who we are to society in general. We take things to the next level. So the food drives are amazing, and they're a critical need in this community. And if we don't have them, then we are missing out on a really big opportunity to help those in need. However, I want Mountaineers to go beyond that. Help at the food pantry, help with the food drives, but think about food security. How do we make an even bigger sustainable impact on food? Same thing with animal adoption. Wonderful to help and support the animals that are out there. We have so many stray cats in the Morgantown area, but what about spaying and neutering for a long-term lasting impact, right? And as you can see, the other examples go the same way, all the way down to your degree doesn't just equal your job, right? We know that as Mountaineers. Your degree opens doors to innovation. Your degree provides you skills and knowledge that you are going to use to apply to your job, but we take everything the next step further, and we are the ones that take the risk, the innovation, and we step out there and move forward in our more sustainable, more consistent work in our communities.
Yes, very good. And now, did you know there's several options and resources at WVU? How about that?
Yeah.
Where do you find these opportunities? So if you're studying abroad, you can contact the Education Abroad office. If you want to make a difference in the community, as Kristi was talking about, community engagement opportunities are readily available. Also, if research interests you, you can contact the undergraduate research office. Also, if you're looking for an internship, co-op, or part-time opportunity to include on and off campus employment, I encourage you to log into Handshake using your WVU login credentials and narrow your search using those Handshake filters. You'll be able to find what you're looking for and apply. Now, it's important that you'll have to have your resume uploaded, as well as other required documents. For example, if you're applying for a student employment position, most of those, whether it be regular student worker or a federal work study, they both require a resume be submitted, as well as your work availability. Now, your work availability does not mean the employer or the hiring manager wants to see your class schedule. They want to see just a simple Word document of the days and times you're available and willing to work. Now, obviously, like for our office, if you were to apply for our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8:15 to 4:45. So if you just provide us with that you're available on Saturday and Sunday, that's not going to help us. So, pay attention to where you're applying to, their office hours, particularly with those student employment positions. What else did I want to cover? Of course, if you're applying for an internship or a full-time opportunity in Handshake, you're going to need not only your resume, but your cover letter. Your cover letter always helps you stand out, even if it's not a required document. You want to, in the cover letter, talk about, why you're applying and your interest and how you qualify for the position. And don't forget, career services can help you with your resume. And here are some tips to get started. Because employers look at your resume so quickly, it's important to stand out. Keep in mind, an employer could only look at your resume for like 10 seconds. So to best market your experiences, your resume should include 1 page. Now, if you have a lot of relevant work experience, it could be 2 pages, but most likely during your college years, while you're in college, it's probably just going to be a 1-pager. You want to provide factual, honest content. You want it to be easy to read, flow well. You want to be consistent in formatting and punctuation. You want to use 11 to 12 point font, nothing bigger than that. Now, of course, your name at the top with your contact information can be larger, typically about a 16-point font. You want to be sure to use a professional email address. You do not want an employer seeing badgirl@gmail.com on your resume. That does not give a good impression. And as mentioned earlier, you want to tailor your resume to the job you're applying to. Now, here's an example of a student who has participated in community engagement. You'll see here that they've listed the employer, which is the Bartlett's House Homeless Shelter. They include their city and state. Below that, they provide a bullet as to their duties, starting with an action verb. Notice that their dates are aligned to the right. And also, it's actually in reverse chronological order, so it's most recent position first. Very important. You'll see their next duty was Mountaineer Boys and Girls Club, city, state again, and with an action verb. Now, if a job is in the past tense or something you used to do, you're no longer doing it, obviously your action verb is going to move to past tense, adding that ed to the action verb. I'll actually talk more about this as I continue on. I also encourage you to check out our career services website. We have a lot of great resources, such as resume samples and a long list of action verbs that can be used for various roles. Here's another example. This is a student that has worked intern at Stanley Black & Decker, but there's some things missing. It does not show the city and state. And also it kind of is vague in, the duties that they're describing, kind of leaves it open-minded and subjective. And as I mentioned, vague. So I'll show you how you can elaborate and how important it is to be specific. I mean, so when you're writing a bullet for a job description, you want it to be measurable. So measurable means you want it not open-ended. So just in reading this PowerPoint here, helped manage children at a summer camp. Well, that kind of leaves it, how many, if an employer is looking at this, they're going to automatically jump to, well, how many did they manage? Did they manage 2 people, 2 children? Or did they manage, 250? So by providing those quantitative numbers, something measurable, it gives the employer a better idea as to what you did. So to better write that would be manage more than 250 children, ages 5 to 14 at a week-long day camp. That gives the employer a lot better idea of what you did and you look more valuable. Now, moving on to specifics, as where you don't want to be vague in a bullet. Communicated with clients and work to achieve their needs. Well, that doesn't tell the employer anything. To better write it and to be more specific, communicated levels and grades of drainage structures to achieve excellent customer satisfaction ratings. Of course, that provides more specifics and gives the employer a better idea of the job that you participated in. To be more objective rather than subjective, here they have in the subjective experienced verbal communicator. Well, what does that entail? Who are you? So more objective would be delivered 10 Ignite style presentations to audiences ranging from 10 to 100 individuals on topics of ethics in the workplace. So you can see how that gives a better understanding to the employer. And again, going back to these employers only look at your resume for 10 seconds. So Again, it's important to stand out, and this is how you do it. So lastly, on writing better bullets is your accomplishments. Employers want to know what you've completed. What did you accomplish? So, you know, they wrote managed social media accounts. Again, very vague, don't know details as to what, you know, what that involves. So better written, demonstrating what you accomplished. Created and managed Twitter and Instagram accounts, which resulted in a 5% increase in revenue over 3 months. Now, doesn't that sound much better? And it adds more value to your work and to your experiences. And that's what you want to do. You want to add value to what you've accomplished. And to wrap up, experience is the key to your career. And gaining experience during your college years can help you stand out from a classmate who lacks experience but has the same major and GPA as you. Now, I ask you, where will your experiential path take you? And now we'll open up to some questions. Feel free to ask out loud or in our chats. Kristi and I are here. If you have anything for us, or if, you know, we weren't thorough on something we talked about, feel free to ask. No questions?
I actually have a couple things if you announce
that
might be interesting to students who are career oriented. We have a fellowship meeting tonight at 7 for a Millennial Fellowship. So if you are a junior at least, and you're going to be here next fall, it's an amazing opportunity to work with 7 other WVU students on a really cool fellowship that really works with the United Nations, but we're talking about moving social action to policy. So if that is your interest level, this is a great resume builder, as well as we are looking for a student committee for the APLU on community and engaged good. So if you're interested in either of those, reach out to me. Those things are also great resume builders when you're able to work on some kind of fellowship or team.
Yes. No other questions? I hope that we've been helpful and inspired you to participate in some experiential learning opportunities. There's a lot of opportunity out there and a lot of resources here at the university. So feel free to reach out. I know right now we're working in a more virtual world, but our office and career services, we're taking virtual appointments. So you can schedule an appointment online through Handshake, or simply email our career services at mail.wvu.edu account and schedule an appointment, whether it be for, you know, help looking for an experiential learning opportunity or help with your resume. We're here to help. And same thing in Kristi's office, the Center for Service and Learning, same thing. Feel free to reach out to them as well. Okay. All right. Well, I will let you all go and have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you all. Make sure you put what you want out there. Everything is out there for you.
Yes, exactly. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.